you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl JD here, back with another video, and today we are going to be diving into Selling Sunset Season 8. Yes, they are back on Netflix. They have a whole new season and we're gonna dish all about it. I think I did talk about Season 7. I'll link it in the corner here. I think I have some change point of views after seeing this season. I think I might have changed some thoughts that I originally had in that video about the previous season. But the drama that has ensued from this after the season being released has been interesting, probably a little bit more interesting than what actually went down in the season. And I think that naturally is what happens when it comes to reality TV, or what's supposed to be reality TV, because you know, a lot of these shows, particularly on Netflix for example, they tend to be and also look very scripted. But we're gonna get into that drama probably after I talk about the main topics and storylines that were presented in this season, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of quickly go through them and then also give my thoughts shortly after I say each bullet point, I guess. And then we're gonna get into what happened or transpired after this season had wrapped. Mary and Chelsea have their beef, we find out. It happens after Mary said that Chelsea stirs the pot. So this issue seemed to have gone on for quite a few episodes before they decided to just squash it. I don't know if it's still squashed, but either way, it seemed to have been squashed at some point during the show because Mary had started crying, they went to dinner and all that stuff. But before we get there, I think Mary, along with a few other castmates, were on a live and someone had asked something along the lines of who does she think stirs the pot the most or causes a lot of drama within the group, and she basically says Chelsea. And Chelsea, I guess, took offense to that. She messaged Mary and was like, keep my name out your effing mouth, kind of like a Will Smith moment. And Mary was just like, okay, you know, like she was taken aback by it. It seems as though they probably don't have that type of relationship for her to just joke around and say, yeah, Chelsea stirs the pot. I'm getting that vibe. But at the same time, it's like, Chelsea girl, have we not seen our past episodes and seasons? You do stir the pot, sis. You do. As much as I've said I love Chelsea, I like also that she occasionally stirs the pot, which she does, okay, and she causes a little bit of drama. Now, sometimes it is unwarranted, especially when it came to Brie. I think she was going over the top when it came to Brie. A little bit too much tension there. But I have to say, like, let's be honest here. You know you stir the pot. Like, let's not act delusional. You know what I'm saying? So that was a little bizarre, but either way, they did eventually end up squashing it, but it took a good minute. I don't understand why, because it just seems so trivial. I don't know what the heck Mary was even like crying about. She's like, I don't judge people, you know, because I was a single mom when I was 15. And I was like, Mary, what? Like, I don't really think it was that deep, sis. It's like, yeah, I can sympathize with the struggle, but at the same time, it's like, what did that have? What? Just a little too theatrical for me. So Amanza has her birthday party after having a tough time recovering from a surgery. I can't remember exactly which surgery it was, but she said at one point it got so bad that the doctors had told her that she might not even live past a few days. And I was like, what the heck? When did this happen? So it's been a really tough time. So being able to celebrate her birthday in this moment definitely means a lot for her. And she looks good. I'm not gonna lie. She comes in with this like semi see-through dress. And I was like, okay, ma'am. All right, Amanza. I have to say, her style is one that is very eclectic, obviously, but I think I would probably go through her closet a little bit more than some of the other cast members on this show. So Amanza and Chrishell are also trying to revive their friendship after the drama of the previous season. I don't know if y'all remember, in the previous season, there was some issues with regards to them going to dinner. I think they were in Mexico, but Chrishell and, was it Emma? I think it was Chrishell and Emma. They decided not to show up. I can't remember why. There was some drama between somebody, but you know, I can't keep up all the time, okay? But there was a reason why they just decided to skip that dinner altogether. They was like, whatever. And Amanza decides to send a like actual video of herself kind of scolding Chrishell for not showing up to the dinner. And she was just like, yeah, you should be here, blah, blah, blah. And I guess Chrishell was like, yeah, it's really not that deep. I don't know why you're trying to tell me off. I'm gonna need you to chill. So ever since then, their relationship had been on a little bit of a decline because it got really awkward. But I do think Chrishell is extra sensitive. If I'm going to be honest, I do think she's very, very sensitive. Compared to like me, for example, and also other people that are around me, my friends, I think she's definitely on like a scale of 1 to very sensitive. She's probably like a good 7, 7.5. You know, she's pretty up there. But they do end up reviving or rekindling their relationship and friendship because eventually Amanza decides to uninvite the person that had been causing a lot of tension. I think it was like a makeup artist or somebody, I don't know. But Amanza uninvites that person and Chrishell was able to come, you know, to the party. So let's move on to Bree. So Bree finds out from her friend Amanda that Chelsea's husband is cheating on her. This is a very interesting one because Bree, of all people, you know, from the last season, Chelsea had been doing the absolute most when it came to Bree, okay? Would not let Bree live or even breathe without commenting on it. And also talking about how she's creating broken homes, okay? And even though I do agree with Chelsea, yes, she is kind of a part of the whole broken homes creation, I think that it's kind of unfair to constantly go after her for it. It's just like, okay, comment on it once, but then leave it alone. It kept going. But either way, it's very interesting that Bree is the one that comes into the show with this information because now it's like, okay, well, she could be the villain. She could use it against you, but at the same time, she could just want to tell you so that you know. And also she has the option of not telling you altogether. You just find out yourself, which is what I think she probably should have done because how they treat her afterwards, it's crazy. But she does decide to kind of pull Chelsea aside, have a little bit of a one-on-one chat with her and only her. She comes to her super respectful and she kind of breaks the news to her in a very, you know, somber way. And you could tell that she really cared for Chelsea's feelings in that moment, even though they don't have the best relationship. They still tried to give each other a chance to get to know each other, but they weren't like super close. At the same time, it's like, it seems as though in that moment that they were getting closer. Just looking at what transpires afterwards, I think that was just really wild that they go from that moment to another moment, but we'll get into that. Eventually, it seems as though Chelsea gets it in her head that Bree, because they don't really have the closest relationship, and also because they had a little bit of a beef in the past, she sees it as Bree potentially using this information or exposing this information about her husband cheating to just kind of mess with her and also to bring her down. I think Emma and also Chrishell, they also kind of question it as well. And you could tell that Bree is definitely very hurt. It's obviously kind of like you questioning Bree's character as well. I would have definitely looked at them like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? I could have kept this information to myself. I could have been that person that just lets you find out all willy-nilly from anybody. But I decided to do it in a way that it was more understanding towards your feelings. And now you're gonna come after me? Really? That was just the wildest moment. And they even call her up and Bree's just like, bro, what? So that was just such a crazy moment for me. I think at that point I became low-key team Bree because it was like, how did we get here? You treated her as the villain for so long. And then when she finally gives you a chance and she also has this information and decides to share it with you instead of keeping it to herself, which she probably could have done and saved herself the trouble, she decides to go out on a limb and tell you to your face with the most respect, and that's a problem. It just seems so delusional to me. It just was like, I think at this point, Chelsea, I might have to jump ship a little bit here because it just honestly came across as, what are we doing? Are you trying to just start a whole new round of beef just cause? Like, what is this? This beef is not entertaining. This is just sad because it's like, really? This is what we're doing now? Mary and Jason's dog Nico also dies after I think at least a decade plus. I don't even, how old was he? 18? He lived for quite some time. And obviously it was very emotional finding out that he only had a couple days to live. They spent the time with him and then he passed away. They had his little ashes in a little urn and they also had a funeral for him. Now, me personally, I don't think I would do that much even though I really love my pets. I don't think I would be going out of my way to have a funeral. It seems like just a bit much for me, but hey, I was a very close member of their family or Oppenheim family, so you know they treated him as like a regular family member. But Nicole and Chrishell, they end up hashing out their beef. It seemed as though they were finally getting somewhere until what had transpired after the show, but we'll get to that. Nicole also decides to spread a rumor that Emma was out here sleeping with some married men. Now, we don't really have much evidence of that. that, but that is what has been talked about on the show. And it comes back up after the show as well. So Alana joins the Oppenheim group. She's the newest cast member and she seems the most normal and most down to earth in my opinion. Even though I do love the other ladies, I think Alana is definitely the least bougie. I think Amanza is pretty chill and down to earth too, but I think Alana is also a breath of fresh air to see because she actually dresses like, you know, a very chic and normal person. So it's just like, even though I love the outrageous fashion, it's like, let's be realistic, okay? You're still a real estate agent. Like, calm down, you know? She joins the group and she also invites them out to Pioneer Town, which also comes back up in the drama after the show. Like I said, there was just a lot going on after the show, so I'd like to get into it. Bree is also now wanting to bring her friend Amanda in as another agent at the Oppenheim group, and I already see this definitely being interesting. I love to see that happen though at this point. I love to see the dynamics kind of shake up a little bit and what the season might bring if they do actually have Amanda come in. But at the time that they go into the actual Oppenheim group building, nobody's there, so they just kind of sit on each other's desks and stuff. I think Amanda actually sat on Chelsea's desk and I was like, girl, trying to start some drama. But it's definitely very interesting to me, so I like to see where that goes. Chelsea is now also thinking about buying a home and might have been thinking about a divorce, and I think she does eventually get a divorce in real life. It seems as though she had filed. At the end, Jason ends up getting Kanye's old house as a listing, and the selling price seems a bit ridiculous considering the house is gutted, and Jason just keeps trying to tell the agents like, listen, you just need to sell them on the dream. And I was like, oh my god, some of these agents, wow, just sell them on the dream pretty much is what he said. And I'm like, good luck, child, because that looks interesting. But let's get into the after the season drama. So Bree ends up revealing that the ladies knew all about the cheating allegations before filming. So they knew all about what had transpired with Chelsea's husband, I think his name is Jeff, before they even started filming the show. So it seems as though with Bree and Amanda, that was just a means to bring that information to the forefront and present that as a storyline. It seems very interesting that they would just make Bree the villain, because I think if they had used anybody else it wouldn't have been a problem, but I think they strategically used Bree to present that information, to present her as the villain. So that was interesting. So like I said already, I think I'm team Bree after this. At first I did not like her. I think if y'all watch that other video where I talked about the previous season, y'all would see that I really was not a fan of Bree, but after watching her on TikTok and also seeing her interactions on this season, I was like, yeah, she's growing on me. She's growing on me. I kind of like Bree now. I'm not gonna lie, I get it. I understand being in that villain era when everybody treats you as the villain, you're gonna eventually start acting like the villain. So I don't blame her in this situation. So cast members are now responding to Nicole spreading a rumor on the show about Emma sleeping with a married man. Chriselle also comes in, even though, like I said in the show, they seem to have hashed out their beef. But yeah, I guess now Chriselle's just like, yeah, no, you're disgusting, okay, for sharing that rumor. That could also damage Emma's reputation as a person in the community. Now I'm just looking at you sideways because it's like, really? Why would you do that? And I think also Chelsea came to Emma's defense as well. She came and said something about Nicole. But the thing is though, Emma hasn't really said anything about her dating life, and it does leave room for skepticism. Is Nicole really wrong? I don't know. Obviously, yes, I do agree that it is damaging to someone's reputation, but at the same time, it leaves room for some questions. It's like, I mean, it could be happening. It could be. I don't know. No evidence has been presented to the contrary, so I don't know. But Alana gets caught lying about owning Pioneer Town and is also called a narcissist. I'm not sure where the narcissist came from, but she did say that she had owned Pioneer Town in the show along with her husband. A lot of people in Pioneer Town who owns like property there and all that, they were just like, yeah, no, she doesn't. So she had to end up apologizing for that, I think. But at the same time, I just don't really think it was that deep to be calling her a narcissist. I mean, okay. I think, yeah, yeah, she shouldn't have gone out and said that when that wasn't true. That was pretty far from the actual truth. But I think it might have just been because she maybe wanted to look a certain way on the show. So maybe I guess that kind of contributes a little teensy bit to the narcissist comment. I just don't really think it was that deep. I mean, she probably just either misspoke or just kind of wanted, well, actually, I shouldn't say misspoke because she said it several times. She said several times on the show that she owned the Pioneer Town along with her husband. But either way, you know, I just don't think it was that deep. Like, I don't actually care if she owns, doesn't own the place. Like, who cares? So after that, people have definitely also been discussing Emma's behavior on the show this season. And it just seems as though she'd been taking on that whole mean girl thing. Because I think they had a party at one point. For some strange reason, I guess Mary decided, oh, I'm gonna get empanadas and bring that to the party. But she knows good and darn well that Emma makes, I think, vegan empanadas, and she was gonna be bringing that more than likely because that's her product that she sells. And Mary just decided to bring that. So I don't know if it just went with the theme of their party or what, but like, I mean, yeah. But either way, I think Emma decided to throw that away, which is wild. Like, you throw away something that somebody bought and paid for, but all right. And then on top of that, Emma was just kind of flip-flopping for me. Regardless of what Nicole said about the whole married men thing, it just seemed like you just kind of flip-flopped on Brie, who you said was kind of like your friend, and you know, you just kind of threw her aside. For Chelsea, it just it gives off kind of fake to me. It's like, why did you choose Chelsea above Brie? You know what I'm saying? So it just seemed like she's a very kind of fake person, in my opinion. But y'all can let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments. This was a very interesting, well, I was gonna say interesting season, but that would be a lie. This would be an interesting set or sequence of events to occur after a season that was not that interesting overall. But y'all can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.